And here you are coming up now, fighting Giga Chikadze. I'm not good with his last name. I know about him. I've seen him fight, but so let's talk about that real fast. Obviously, we got a kickboxer here. He's going to be a striker. I would assume your game plan is going to be geared more to the groundwork because your groundwork is phenomenal, just like your striking. But this is a part of me that just says I can't picture you just doing groundwork or shooting takedowns the whole time, and you're going to get in there and you're going to try and knock this guy out. So anyway, how's the camp been going, and how's your preparation going, and how do you just feel about this fight with this opponent?
Well, the camp's been great. It was a little different dynamic. Had to change some things around, but ultimately it was pretty smooth. I started training, right away. One of my main training partners, Juan Archuleta, has a fight the week after me, so he's gonna be cornering me, and then I'm literally gonna fly to his Bellator 135-pound title fight and corner him. So and then TJ is another one of our teammates that fights the very next day after him. So we were all kind of getting ready, working together and then working separately, which is something I really like to do. I'm not a big fan of the whole group setting anymore. So we worked very specific training, a lot of rounds. And it was, like I said, it was pretty smooth. I'm very familiar with Giga. We've been around each other quite a bit. Haven't really trained much, but we're friendly. My manager almost managed him, and so I've known about him before he even turned pro. And I've given him advice and stuff like that. So yeah, we've known each other for a while. So I think that he's a great prospect and got tons of talent. But I just think that I'm definitely a step up for him. And I'm not afraid to strike with him, but I also know what his weaknesses are. So I think I'm just going to go out there and fight the best fight possible.
These fights are interesting because, like, in a situation like this, in a situation where you're giving him advice and mentoring him kind of, or you've seen him as he's came up, you're the veteran, you're the one with experience, you're the one he kind of, I'm sure, looked up to for sure. I mean, there's no doubt about that at some point. So yeah, the edge would be on you, obviously, for many reasons. But the dynamic that's interesting about this is where guys step up too. So this is where guys are going to bring their A game, and they surprise a lot of people. And they sometimes have their best fights is when they fight their heroes. You got Uriah Hall versus Anderson Silva, like these type of fights. So it's like these guys that fight guys that they've looked up to or had give advice to. So it's an interesting dynamic. I think you're going to get a very good Giga for sure. But I definitely think you're going to be able to handle it, no problem.
Yeah, and
nothing against him.
I always, some of my teammates will be like, "Why do you always give too much respect to your opponents?" And it's like, man, I always respect that. They're good for a reason, and they're there for a reason. The times that I've always told myself, "You're better than this guy everywhere," they've surprised me because I set such a low bar for them. I'm expecting the best Giga. I know what he's good at. I watched his film. I've seen him at the gym, so I know what he's good at. But I know that when the fight, when you're in there, it's different than in the gym. It's different. So I'm expecting the best version of him. I'm expecting a very tough problem to solve. But I also know that if I go out there and I just have a great performance, that it could also be one of my easiest fights, just stylistically. But I also know that if I'm not on point and I make mistakes, that it could be a very tough night. So, I'm just focused on me being me.
I agree with you. And the thing is with him is like, I mean, it's going to bring out the best of him, but you're going to do really good. And I don't see a problem there. And it's interesting. And From this point, like as far as when you're getting ready for this fight at 37 years old compared to your when you're getting ready for fights when you were younger, how much harder is it for you now? I mean, do you notice a significant difference, or is it kind of the same? Or are you easing up on certain parts of your training? Like a lot of guys stop sparring as hard. They don't do certain things as hard and more technical. Are you changing things around a little bit for just your body have the wear and tear, or is it just kind of is your body still just hanging in there like always?
Yeah, what I do is and I've done this for a while now. I try to do like 14-week camps. I spend about 4 weeks just trying to get in the best shape possible. Then I spend, a good 6 to 8 weeks grinding, and then I really pull back. And any time in between there, if there's any little injuries, I pull back. If I notice, I'm wearing the Aura ring. I have other apps. If I notice that my recovery isn't there, I pull back, so I don't allow myself to get sick. I do a lot of things to just make sure that I'm healthy. One of the biggest things I've had to do in the last couple camps is I get body work done maybe 3 times a week.
Wow.
I'm talking deep tissue massage, chiropractor, seeing physical therapists, just working on me, and they're like, geez, what are you doing? I'm like, hey man, I'm training. And they're like, well, you should do this. I'm like, hey, just put me back and let me do my thing, and so I'm still grinding, but I just know what window of time in the training camp is the most important. And then towards the end, you always want to put in more, but I know like, hey, you're a veteran, you're fine, you put in the work, pull back, go in healthy, because that's most important.